Doctor, there's something wrong with the lines of the C-Lab. Topside to C-Lab, topside to C-Lab. Are you receiving? Are you receiving? Over. Lines are dead, Skipper.
They're using hydrophonic transmitters.
C-Lab to topside. Are you receiving me?
This is topside. Go ahead, C-Lab.
Attention topside, this is Commander Wayne. Send this message. Office of Naval Operations, Washington. Attention, Admiral Bradford. Urgent. Request you send surface units to this area immediately, equipped with depth charges and...
Would you repeat? Would you repeat?
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
This is Project Adonis, a laboratory. A tiny, far-flung world connected only by radio and memory, and inhabited by a handful of men dedicated to removing the unknown.
Skipper, this is Commander Wayne.
How do you do, sir?
We got here sooner than we expected.
The department said it was urgent.
Well, Dr. Lassiter seems to think so.
Oh, and you don't, huh?
Well, I don't know what to think. There's something odd going on down there, that's for sure. Boatswain, prepare the service bell. Now, we can send you down anytime you're ready.
I'm ready right now, sir.
Inform the C-Lab that Commander's here and he'll be down right away.
Hello, C-Lab. Hello, C-Lab. This is topside. Do you receive? Over.
This is C-Lab. Go ahead, topside.
Inform Dr. Lassiter that Commander Wayne has arrived. We're sending him down right away.
I take it you've never been aboard the C-Lab?
No, I haven't.
Well, it gets a little hairy down there at times. I spent 3 days aboard it myself, but I guess you'll get used to it.
I don't suppose you've ever been aboard a submarine cruising under an ice cap now, have you, Skipper?
Well, no, I haven't.
Gets a little hairy down there, too.
Yes, sir. I'm Dr. James, company medical officer.
How do you do?
This is Dr. Renee Perrone, our marine biologist.
Pleased to meet you.
Commander Wayne, Dr. Lassiter is waiting for you in the control room, and Hovey will take your things.
Oh, fine.
Right this way, Commander.
Well, all the comforts of a luxury liner, huh?
We do have some comforts.
So I see.
too, Commander Wayne.
You've arrived at the opportune moment, Commander. The object has returned. It's moving closer.
How long has it been out there?
2 hours. Yesterday it appeared for 15 minutes. Last night, 1 hour. I sent the mini-sub out. They may reach it before it gets out of range.
Do you mind?
Oh, go ahead.
Mile and a half. Does it always move in the same direction?
No, no pattern at all. The 5 contacts we've made, it's neither appeared nor disappeared in the same direction.
No motors, no screws. Well, you can rule out the submarine theory, Doc.
I already have. At least the conventional ones.
Well, do you know of any other kind?
No, but I thought you might. Some new development.
I only wish you had a sub like that.
I still say it's a whale looking for a new home.
No, Renee. Whatever it is, it's not a whale. But it does appear to be looking for something.
Now, how can you be so certain it's not a whale?
Same way you're so certain it's not a submarine. Marine animals have been my life's work.
We're just getting into range.
Couple of minutes more, Sandy, and we'd have been breathing the water. We were out there longer than I thought.
Well, we should have taken the extra tanks, like I said. You're always in such a hurry.
Not always, honey. Waited 30 years for you to come along.
Then you won't mind waiting another 30.
Sorry, sweetheart. Another 2 weeks to wind up this operation, then we're on our way to Miami.
Got everything all figured out, haven't you?
That's why Lassiter hired me. I'm an expert at figuring. What did you find out? Pictures will tell you as much as I know.
I only got a couple of long shots, Doctor. Unfortunately, we weren't able to move in for a close-up.
I want to see them as soon as they're out of the soup. Don't bother to wait for them to dry.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think, Hugh?
Oh, some new kind of submarine.
No, it isn't a sub. We know that.
How do we know that?
The Navy didn't waste any time answering my request. They sent out their top submariner. I think you know him, Commander Wayne.
You're not serious.
I don't understand.
Welcome to the club, Doctor. A lot of people don't understand Commander Wayne.
"70% of the Earth's surface is covered by ocean, and we know less about it than we do the surface of the moon. Every day, our crew brings in some new form of life, or plant like that, to be studied and classified. The forms of life in the sea are endless.
You're really serious about this, aren't you?
It's a serious problem. There's enough food in the ocean to supply the world's population forever. The sea is a perpetual food factory. And the specimen is under the microscope, Commander.
Oh. Well, after a tour of duty aboard a submarine for a few years, a man remembers that there are a lot more interesting things to study than seaweed.
Like women, for instance.
Yes, if they look like you.
And I suppose I'm just the woman you've been searching for.
I have a few of the qualifications.
Why don't you try the "you've got a beautiful mind" routine, or the indirect approach, you know, about becoming platonic friends?
Well, somebody must have given you a pretty bad time.
Wrong again, Commander. I just know a lot about men.
I bet you do.
For your information, I've lived with 5 of them.
Oh? All at once?
Yes. I grew up with 5 older brothers, and they taught me all the tricks. I've heard it all, Commander.
Commander Wayne, the photographs are ready. Will you join me in the lab, please?
Right away, Doctor. Now, you listen to me, beautiful. I happen to have grown up with a couple of sisters. Let me tell you something. A brother doesn't always tell a sister everything. You might have a few surprises in store for you, Doctor. Shove that under your microscope and study it a while.
I think this one shows more details, Commander.
Doesn't look like any marine animal I've ever seen.
Is it possible the Russians have developed some new undersea craft?
Oh, it isn't Russian. Doesn't look like a submarine at all in the sense that we use the word.
Well, what then?
You tell me, Doctor. I'm going to send a communique to Washington and request that a naval unit be sent to this area. Meantime, I suggest that you terminate your research program until we can determine what this object is and what it's doing here.
Aren't you jumping to some rather hasty conclusions, Commander? We have no particular reason to suspect that this object represents danger.
Maybe Commander Wayne is used to making hasty decisions.
Hello, Maddox. Well, you do what you want to do, Doctor, but I still think this is a matter for military authorities.
Commander, I have no objection to your sending a communique to the Navy Department. You can make any request you wish. However, inasmuch as this is a private civilian operation under my supervision, I do think it's up to me to decide on its termination. Not just the same as giving orders aboard the Starfish, is it, Commander?
Dr. Lassiter, it's returning. It's headed this way.
The range is 2 miles.
And closing fast.
It's at a depth of 60 feet. If it stays on that course, it's headed directly for us.
I don't believe they have anything to worry about. If they intended to attack us, they could have done it before.
They?
I'm receiving the signal again at a much higher frequency.
How much higher?
It's approaching 1 million cycles.
Don't you think you should secure all watertight doors, Doctor?
Well, it doesn't seem to be on a collision course now, Commander.
Well, it must have a sonar system that's steering it clear of us.
I was thinking about ultrasonic habitation, Dr. Wilson.
You could be right, Doctor. We're loaded with chemicals and gases which could become irradiated by high-frequency sound waves.
Sound emergency. Seal all compartments, Maddox.
Attention all personnel. Attention all personnel. This is not a drill. Go to your emergency stations at once.
Pass right over us.
Must be 50 feet in diameter.
And in compliance with your request for more detailed information, I am proceeding to the area of the unknown object to investigate. Will report my observations upon my return. Signed, Commander Wayne. That's about all else. Now, Doctor, did any of the crewmen volunteer?
They all did. You forget, Commander, that our main purpose in being here is to explore the unknown.
Good.
Maddox will go with you.
Maddox?
He's the most experienced. I left the Starfish. I told you what would happen if I ever saw you again.
Forget it, Maddox.
Forget it. I'll never forget that day as long as I live. I've thought about that day for 3 years, over and over again. Those 5 men pounding and clawing at that door, trying desperately to get out of that flooding compartment. They were just kids, Wayne. And you were on the other side of that door. You didn't make a move to help them.
You know why I couldn't open that door.
I only know one thing. You closed that door on us and left us to drown like rats. You think I can ever forget that?
Well, you managed to escape. Do you think I'll ever forget that? Well, listen, Miss Wells. You better stay behind here in the atmosphere. I'll take the camera.
Commander Wayne, I take my orders from Dr. Lassiter.
Maddox, I don't know what's happened in the past between you and the commander. But whatever your difference is, they'll have to wait until this operation is concluded. Is that clearly understood? Understood. Good luck, Commander.
Thanks, Doctor. Better keep your gear on.
Must be near freezing in here. What do you think?
This craft looks extraterrestrial.
A spaceship?
Yes, completely automated. A remotely controlled probe ship. Probably sent here to study our oceans.
Look at this. Looks like a container of some kind.
That light feels like a heat lamp.
Looks like it might be ceramic or some kind of glass.
Well, whatever it is, I bet it came from that compartment.
Well, it might be a fuel tank that's been ejected. as ice.
Maybe it's a container for specimens. They might have come here to collect samples of our sea life.
All right?
There's something creepy about this place.
Yeah.
Why don't we get back to the sea lab?
I'll leave that thing here, Maddox. Till I hear differently, Dr. Lassiter is still in charge of this operation. He didn't send me along just to keep you company.
Kilocycles. Barely helps the sound. But it's there nonetheless. I'd say it's an instrument package, Commander, but don't ask me what it's for.
Be something to do with the ship's guidance system.
Or power plant, or observation equipment, or who knows what.
Well, there's one way to find out. Cut it open.
Now listen, Doctor, you're a scientist. I understand your curiosity, but I don't understand your logic. Now, this ship must have traveled through space millions of miles to get to this planet. Obviously, with a very good reason. We're dealing with something totally alien. That capsule, as he said, might contain just instruments or something simple like that. On the other hand, it might contain something quite beyond the realm of our understanding. I'm fairly certain there are about 24 more aboard that ship.
That's exactly the point, Commander. We're here to explore the unknown.
Now listen, Doctor. I was sent out here with the authority to take over this project if it became necessary. Now, I don't want to exercise that authority. But until I hear from the Navy Department, nobody aboard this installation is going to tamper with that object. Do we understand each other?
I believe we do.
Good.
You might say we've been told off.
You might.
And you might say that he's absolutely right. It's actually a very porous substance. It's probably a...
Probably a what, Renee?
Looks larger. Looks like it's growing.
It's 2 inches longer than it was only an hour ago. And the signal has increased 10,000 cycles.
Doctor, how can a matter like that be growing? It's solid.
Is it?
It's obviously a material made up of cells. They multiply, just as they do in living plant or animal.
Well, then it's got to be feeding on something.
Heat, possibly. The commander said it was very cold inside of that spacecraft.
It might be feeding on our air. That wasn't it. Maybe it's the heat. Watch it closely. I'll be with Commander Wayne if you need me.
Dr. Wilson, do you think that X-ray would penetrate that shell?
I don't know, but it's worth a try. It's almost doubled in size.
Ultrasonic waves.
If they become intense enough, that acid bottle will shatter. Get Dr. Lassiter, hurry.
Get Dr. James. Mike, help me get Mr. Infirmary.
Hey, Maddox, gas
Acid fumes. Hurry up, cut the ventilators. Give me that.
Watertight compartment. There's no immediate danger.
That's not what I mean.
Where's Tex?
He's in there. Wait a minute, Maddox. Don't go in there.
Why not?
There's something in there.
What?
Some kind of an amphibious animal came out of that capsule. It attacked Tex. I couldn't get him out.
Out of my way.
Listen to me.
Break it up. All right, now cut it out, both of you. You know you can't open that door, Maddox. You want to flood the whole C-Lab?
There should have been plenty of time for both of them to get out. He's a real pro at leaving men trapped in flooding compartments.
I told you it attacked Tex. There was nothing I could do about it.
You expect anyone to believe that?
I don't give a damn what you believe. Better radio for help before it's too late, Doc.
Amphibious animal.
Skipper, there's something wrong with the lines at the C-Lab. Topside to C-Lab, topside to C-Lab. Are you receiving? Are you receiving? Over. Lines are dead, Skipper.
They're using hydrophonic transmitters.
C-Lab to topside. Are you receiving me?
This is topside. Go ahead, C-Lab.
Attention topside. This is Commander Wayne. Send this message. Office of Naval Operations, Washington. Attention, Admiral Bradford. Urgent. Request you send service units to this area immediately. Equipped with depth charges, eh?
Would you repeat? Would you repeat?
Admiral Bradford. Urgent. Request you send demolition units to this area immediately to destroy submerged spacecraft. End of message. Hello, topside. Please repeat that message. Hello, topside, topside. This is Commander Wayne. Please repeat the message. Hello, topside. Please repeat the message.
That monster seems determined to isolate us.
Or annihilate us. Doctor, I think you better close those window guards. If that thing can break out, it can break in.
You think it'll try to attack us?
Doctor, I think that thing will do everything it can to try to prevent anyone from knowing of its existence.
Maybe it's not as dangerous as you think. Maybe it's more afraid of us than we appear to be of it. Any animal will defend itself, Commander, especially a primitive one.
One thing I'm certain of, Doctor. That thing is not primitive. I bet you it's a lot smarter than both of us.
Well, that's all the more reason we should try to communicate with it.
You still think it's frightened of us, Doctor?
I had no idea. Do you realize the importance of this phenomenon, Commander?
I realize the danger we're in. Anything at all, Ellis?
No, sir. Something must have happened to their equipment.
More likely something happened to them.
Yes, sir.
The surface pumps have stopped.
How long will the emergency air supply last?
About 12 hours. A little longer if we're conservative.
Dr. Wilson has a severe cerebral hemorrhage. We'll have to get him to a hospital at once.
There's nothing we can do about it. We've lost contact with the surface crew.
I don't understand. Can't somebody go out and see what's wrong?
We know what's wrong, Dr. James. We just don't know exactly what to do about it.
If you don't hear from me within an hour, you'll know there's nothing we can do about it. Ellis, stand by that receiver. Now listen, tell Dr. James to have Dr. Wilson ready. I'm going to try to get the diving bell working.
Commander, you cannot go out there alone.
I'm pretty good with these things, Commander.
Okay, Mike. Well, how is he? Any better?
Worse. Fever's gone up.
Well, the scratches didn't look that bad.
No, it's more than that.
What's that? From the amphibian?
Mm-hmm. It's a carrier of some kind of unknown disease. Unknown to me, anyway.
Maybe that explains its reason for being here.
Trying to escape a plague that's threatening to wipe out its own civilization?
It's a possibility. Is that contagious?
I don't know. I've prepared a serum that might help, but I don't know. If it is contagious, that one creature could start a major epidemic.
Well, that's what a dozen of them might do. Have you found what you're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Any of the rest of them know about this?
You think they should? It's enough to worry about already. How much time do you think we have, Commander?
I don't know. Roughly, I'd say 8 hours.
Well, I know you'll do everything humanly possible.
Doctor, I think you better inoculate the rest of the crew. They don't have to know what it is. Tell them it's a tetanus shot or something.
If you flex your muscle more, it won't hurt so much.
Thank you, nurse. How many spear guns do we have in the utility room, Maddox?
Oh, about half a dozen.
Good. I want you to give me a hand with the welding equipment. You too, Ellis.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna set a trap, Doctor.
We're the ones in a trap, like rats in a sinking ship, if you know what I mean, Commander.
You know, I've just about had it with you, Maddox. Now, you want to go into this thing? Okay, let's go into it.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what it means. When are you gonna quit lying to yourself anyway? Don't you think I know what really happened aboard the Starfish?
Are you trying to say you didn't lock us in that forward room?
No, I admit that. I had no choice. It was either seal off that room or flood the entire ship.
Sure, and left us to drown in a flooded compartment.
You managed to escape, Maddox. Why couldn't the others?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, I do. There was an escape chamber in that compartment, Maddox. There was a chance for every one of those men to get out of there. I knew that when I sealed off that room. They knew it, too, but something went wrong, didn't it? You panicked, didn't you?
You're crazy.
Am I? You got in that escape chamber first, Maddox. There was a chance for every man to get in that chamber, but you got there first, didn't you? And you slammed that hatch on, didn't you?
Sure, I got there first, but they didn't follow me. They were trying to get out that door you closed.
That's a damn lie, Maddox, and you know it. You once told me how you never could forget the faces of those 5 men, how they clawed and pounded on that door, trying desperately to escape. How could you know that, Maddox, if you were inside that escape chamber? I'll tell you how. Because it was the escape chamber they were trying to get into. You could see them through the window of the hatch. Yes, you could see their faces, Maddox. Just kids, remember? Crying out to you for help, and you didn't make a move.
You're lying to cover up for yourself.
Am I? And how come we found the escape chamber locked from the inside when we finally brought the starfish to the surface? And why did we find 2 of those men with their broken, bloody fingers still clinging to the outside of that hatch?
I don't know.
Yes, you do, Maddox.
No, I don't.
Now listen to me. Every man gets scared sometime, someplace. Every man has a breaking point. You can stand just so much and then you crack. Now, you're no less a man for that, Maddox. Listen to me, you're gonna be a man, you're gonna stand up right now and admit it, or else you're through. Now spit it out!
I got into the escape chamber. Something inside me snapped. I slammed the hatch and locked it. And I froze. I could see them, those kids, trying to get in. But I couldn't move. I killed them, Commander. I didn't mean to. I lose it. That's why I left the service. After that, I couldn't stand to look the rest of the crew in the eye. I didn't have the guts to admit I was a coward.
No one's calling you a coward, Maddox. Come on now. Give me a hand. We haven't got much time. Everything okay, Doctor?
Okay. We're ready.
Good. Now be very careful of these trigger lines. Everybody clear the room. Don't come back till I give you the signal. Batten down those hatches behind you. I said everybody clear the room. Stay back. He's only wounded.
You really
think you're doing the right thing here, Commander? I mean, don't you think we should take the opportunity of studying this entire phenomenon before it's destroyed?
Doc, do you think the best way to prevent a war is to wait until the enemy drops a bomb on you?
I mean, we really haven't tried to understand its purpose in coming here.
Doc, maybe you haven't thought about this, but wherever this thing came from, land animals like ourselves could be its natural enemies. Maybe it's here trying to avoid the destruction by man. Well, whatever it is, we can't afford to take any chances. Let's go. Well, ready to go, Doctor?
Commander, I think I ought to stay here and supervise the repair operation.
Well, I don't think that headquarters would like that.
Headquarters? I don't understand.
Well, I contacted the Navy Department from a supply ship. Gave him a full report. The news reached the president within minutes. He's expecting you at the White House at a press conference as soon as a plane can get you there.
What am I going to tell him? We destroyed the first creature from another world?
It had to be done, Doctor. You realize that.
I realize it. I also realize how little we know of any other world except our own. It's ironic. Here we are all set to put men on totally alien planets. And we're completely unequipped to understand a creature from one of those planets. That amphibian was our ultimate opportunity. And we failed. We don't know any more now than we did before it arrived.
You're wrong, Doctor. We now know that somewhere in space there's a civilization of beings equal to, if not superior to ourselves. We never knew that for certain before. We also know that somehow we have to find a way to communicate with those beings if we ever encounter them again. That's what you have to tell them at the press conference, Doc. That you are the one man with the knowledge and experience to find that way. That you're ready to tackle the most important research program of our age.
Commander, don't you think we're being a little inconsiderate, keeping the president waiting?
Did anyone ever tell you you're quite a guy?
Oh, now that's not a very novel approach, Renee. Why don't you try the, oh, you're just the kind of man I've been looking for one, or perhaps the platonic friendship approach.
You think you know it all, don't you?
Oh, I know a little.
Well, Commander, you still may have a few surprises in store for you.
Really? Like what?
The direct approach.
The planet Earth is a speck of dust, remote and alone in the void. There are powers in the universe inscrutable and profound. Fear cannot save us. Rage cannot help us. We must see the stranger in a new light, the light of understanding. And to achieve this, we must begin to understand ourselves and each other. We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to the outer limits.